Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to be talking about an interesting topic today. We are going to be talking about my favorite type of makeup product out there, and that is concealer. I absolutely love concealer. I can definitely go without foundation. As long as I have concealer, I can definitely, use concealer for a bunch of different things. What we'll be talking about specifically today is higher end concealer that I have tried, what are my thoughts and opinions on these certain concealers, and I continuously use some more than others, and we'll just talk about the formula, price range, and just really comparing all of these concealers together and just saying, okay, which one is the best. Okay, so the first concealer that we're going to be talking about is the infamous Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. This is was a very popular concealer, and I kind of got into it late in the game. I actually have finished this concealer. It's actually a really good concealer. So the original price of it is $27, and it comes in 20 shades. The good thing about this concealer is that it is really matte and it stays in place. So if you like a really matte concealer, I definitely recommend this. It's not only matte, it's really full coverage. Now, with that being said, for me, I personally find it a little bit too matte, which is why I didn't repurchase it. Of course, along with the controversy and all that of Tarte being canceled, things like that, blah. For me, this concealer was just a little bit too matte for me, a little bit too matte and very full coverage. For me personally, I prefer something that's kind of like a medium buildable concealer that has like a natural skin finish to a more dewy skin finish under the eye specifically. So that's kind of why I didn't repurchase this. But overall, it's a really good concealer. It's really good as an eyeshadow base, and it has a nice big fat wand. Of course, a lot of people, you already know about the Tarte Shape Tape, but if you don't, I definitely recommend you getting it and trying it out. Okay, so the next concealer is this concealer right here. This is the Dior Forever Undercover Concealer. Now, out of all of my higher end concealers, this is the one that I pretty much, I've maybe used this 3 or 4 times and haven't picked it up again. So let's talk about the price and everything. So this concealer is $34, and the shade range is actually pretty poo. Like the shade range is kind of really sad. It's only 10 shades, and this is I believe this is the second, or the darkest, or the second to darkest shade, I believe. This is what the color looks like. It's a nice, golden shade. And it works, the color works well for me, but the reason why I don't really gravitate towards this but this concealer is because it is more on the matte side, and it's medium to buildable coverage, but that coverage is, how should I say, it's a little bit weird, and it dries down to that matte finish and kind of flakes off a little bit, and it doesn't last very long. So I do not recommend this concealer for anybody who wants a concealer that lasts more than 6 hours during the day. I just find that I didn't really care for this concealer. I never really pick it up, so I don't really recommend it, spending your money on a concealer like this. So the next concealer that I'm going to be talking about is the MAC Studio Water Weight Concealer. Now, when this concealer first came out, I was really excited, and I actually still use this concealer to this day, but not really so much as concealer, and I'll get into why that is a little bit later. But as far as the price of this goes, it is $24, and it comes in 16 shades, but the colors, this is NC45, and this is a little bit of a warmer NC45. So if you normally use NC45 to if your true color is NC45, then I would just really test this concealer at counter, because this is a little bit of a warmer NC45. But all in all, this concealer is really good. It goes under the eye smoothly. It is a medium to buildable concealer. The only reason why I don't like this concealer is why I don't necessarily use it under my eyes. I like mixing it in with foundation. Literally a little bit of this concealer goes a long way, but be careful around your eye area, because even even if you don't feel like you're spreading it up in your eye, I would say kind of keep it away from your eye, a little bit lower than your lash line, because it does spread and it does burn a little bit when you get into your eyes. Of course, anything will burn when you put it in your eye, so I would definitely be careful with this concealer. Let's talk about the last concealer, and it's one of my all-time favorite higher end concealers that I have repurchased quite a bit. This is going to be my fourth one, and this is the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. Now, the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer is my absolute favorite concealer, but let's talk about the price and things like that. So the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer is $30. It's a $30 concealer, and it comes in 22 shades. That's a pretty good shade range. It goes from the very light to also very deep, and I really appreciate NARS for that. But it is a natural finish concealer, and it's buildable from sheer. You can sheer it down if you want to, or you can make it more of a natural looking full coverage concealer, which is why I like this concealer. It's not too dewy, it's not too matte, it's like right in the middle, and it blends out super well. And I use the color in Almond, and I'll put it right here next to the MAC. Alright, so there is the NARS Creamy Radiant in Almond. NARS is my favorite concealer. I really like it. That's going to be number one. Number two out of all of these concealers, for me, it's going to be, I would have to say, honestly, the Tarte. Just because even though the Tarte is more on the matte side, it does give you that full coverage, and it does blend out very well and work for various other things. Even though I wouldn't repurchase it, it's still pretty good. Third is going to be the MAC concealer. Now, I love the MAC concealer, but the biggest thing about it is I don't really use it for concealer. I use it to mix in with other foundations to kind of, you know, get that right undertone that I'm looking for. But other than that, if you're looking for a nice dewy concealer that lasts a long time, that, you know, really spreads out a little bit, goes a long way, I definitely recommend this one. This, just compared to the other concealers that I have, just, you know, it's just lower on the totem pole, which is why I have it at number 3. And then, of course, last is the Dior, which is number 4. Main reason because I feel like it's a little bit overpriced. It is more on the matte side, doesn't really last that long, and you know, the shade range is kind of poo, and I just don't gravitate towards it, so this is going to be at the bottom. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat about the higher end concealers that I have. If you have any of these concealers and you like them, tell us why you like them down below. You know, even though I may not like a concealer, you know, that may be your favorite concealer, so definitely let the people know why you like certain concealers down below. If you have any suggestions for any new concealers that you want me to try, whether that be drugstore or high end, definitely let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. This is how I reach the people of YouTube land, so thumbs upping videos definitely helps me a lot. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I post videos. I post videos 2 to 3 times a week. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys later in another video.